Hey guys, Silver Bunny here. I thought I would do a pre-existing camp location of my favorite places that I've built at in the wasteland. But before we get into that, I just wanted to say that your girl placed top 10 on the Bethesda Rebuilding Appalachia contest. That was a huge honor. So thanks to Bethesda and the judges. Rad Rux was a judge. That dude is sick as fuck building, and to be picked by him or anyone who's just looking at over 200 camps and mine made it in the top 10, I am beyond honored. Super excited. And congratulations to everyone else who made it, and that's the top 3 that got the features and stuff. It's super exciting. Appreciate it. And congratulations to everyone who placed, because that's really cool. I actually did the footage for all these camps before the results came back for the comp, so I didn't know going into this that I was gonna win. Likely thought it wouldn't, but anyway, I'm doing the voiceover for it after I know, so that's why I can say this now. But anyway, honored to say the least, and everyone that made it and everyone who didn't, just keep pushing. But we're gonna get into these camps. TNG has a million camp locations videos, and I'm sure other people have done them too. I don't think anybody's done anything recently, so that's why I'm gonna just throw this out there and give some tips and tricks, and not tips and tricks, I don't know. We're just gonna talk about these locations. I'm gonna show you what I did with it. We're gonna see all the good things about them, the bad things about them, and I'm probably really gonna screw this up, but it's my first one, so bear with me and tell me what you like and what you didn't like, and if I suck or didn't suck, or all of the above. But without further ado, let's get into these camp locations and see what you guys think. All right, let's do it. All right, this first location is in the Savage Divine, and it is yellow sandy steel, just up from there if you spawn in, and I think go to your left, it's up on a cliff a little bit. So it is a trailer, an RV, and I guess it's like an RV because it has a Jeep connected to it. So how the hell they got it up there, we won't know, but nevertheless, it's up there, and that's where it's staying at. That truck does explode, so when I built here, I wasn't able to really put anything on the truck because you can't put things on the vehicles that explode. Now, I built this prior to the last update, so what you can and can't do here now is going to be a lot easier to do than when I did it. So that's going to be in your favor. But this location, it doesn't have any enemies that spawn, but it does have some friendly enemies that are here. So that's fun. I guess when I spawned in the other day when I was doing this, there was a wolf, and I don't know where he came from because I don't recall there being any enemies there. So inside this cabin, for fuck's sakes, inside this RV, it is a utter fucking mess. So some junk is good, some junk is not good to build with. What I ended up doing is just building a platform over top of the junk that was on the floor and making my own floor, as you've seen in the pictures. But you can probably do a lot more with it now. That this location probably was my most difficult to build at, I feel like. I was very happy with the result, but it was a pain in the booty. It has these wooden planks. I don't know what they're for. Somebody tell me in the comments if you know what they were actually supposed to be. But I made two like crane-like things supposed to get supplies up there. Because again, going back to what I said in the beginning, I don't know how this thing got up there. Because there's no roads, there's no nothing anywhere close to it. So I don't know exactly how it got up there, but it's up there. But this location is a very fun location to build at, and there's really no enemies, so yeah, that's that one. So this one is our next location, and it is just up from Beaker Farm. If you load in and go to your right, it's up at the top of a cliff, and this is also the one I got featured for. So I tried to build here before the update, and I never did because of this spot right here. I wanted to put a porta potty there, and I could never get it to work. So I tried after the update, and voila! Things are so much easier now. But crazy that I didn't build in a location just because of a bathroom. But that's where I wanted my bathroom. I was set on that, and if I couldn't put it there, not gonna happen. So this location is got a lot of junk. It's very, very wastelandy, and I always wanted to build here, but just never did. There are some enemies that will spawn randomly. I think no more than just like some rats or mole rats ever spawned. But there is an NPC that is always here, leaning on a rail all the time, talking mad shit. But this location was super fun. If you do build here, make sure that you put your module up somewhere on the structure, because I first put it down on the ground, and after I got that whole little structure built there, realized that I couldn't put lighting up in the windmills. And for anyone who knows me knows that my lighting is my thing. So I started over, and with the build system being as easy it was, it didn't break my heart as much to start over. Once I had built that little structure there, it was pretty easy to flop it together again. So I decorated the crap out of it, and it came with so much junk already. It was very nice. The inside had a couple tables already in there. I don't know if I got some pictures of the inside before, but that was helpful budget-wise. But sometimes with these pre-existings, I get to go above and beyond because, I mean, there's already so much there to play with. So anyhow, this location is fun to build at. But let's move on to the next one. All right, so the third location is by Mount Blair, and there's no spawn point to it. I just always go to the very end of the thing there in the picture, whatever that big crane thing is. It sits right on the end of there. That's the best way to describe it. I wanted to build at this location for a while, but I had this structure has 4 doors. Holy fucking doors. Why does one structure need 4 doors? And before the update, I was able to get a doorway to place on 3 of the 4 doors. And I was like, there's one of them. I'm not building here if I can't get doors on. So, but I ended up going ahead and building here, and I wasn't able to get a door still on that one spot back there in the back. And I just blocked it off. I'm sure it'll show it later in the video. I just made it look like there wasn't a door there, or it was a door that once was and now isn't. But this structure is super cool. The first time I seen it, I was like, oh my goodness, I like this. I want to build here. It's very Fallout 4. Fallout 4, 3, 4, 4. 4, yeah, 4. Boof. The inside, I wanted to do a bar at first when I first seen it, but ended up doing a shop. There's so much junk. There's a dead person right there. See her shiny gluey eyes there? There's also another dead person over the banister upstairs. You can move them out of the way and then put stuff where they are, and then they'll spawn back underneath that stuff. But there's a lot of potential here. I made a shop, like I said, and I put the person who ran the shop's upstairs was their living area. I went very, very heavy with the lights outside with this one. Again, I know I said this in the last probably 2 camps, but everything is so much easier now. This location would be so easy to turn into something really cool. So I was very happy with how this came out, even before the camp revamp update. but some things were so much harder then than they are now. So you could definitely turn this into a bar or store. Enemies at this location, you will get friendly, and you get friendly enemies. I keep saying friendly enemies. I guess they're not enemies if they're friendly, but when I filmed this, I had a bunch of raiders here. But you can get scorched, you can get ghouls, you can get super mutants. I mean, just basically anything. You can get really, really any enemies there. So be careful for that. But anyway, moving on to the next one. Alright, so this next location is in the Skyline Valley. And I don't have anything marked on my low... Oh, no, this isn't my low level. So I don't know why that location is not marked. So anyway, it's just down from where those... The bridge where those little... Well, I can't think of the name, but you see it on your map there. That's where it's at. I love this location for that little bitty structure there. And yes, it's little, but you'll see the inside of why I wanted to build here so badly. But there's a lot you can do with the outside too. Enemies that spawn here, there is one enemy that spawns here, and it's either that stupid mole guy that makes the same noise as the mole miners, or there could be a Wendigo. I think that's really the only two. Now, two of the camp locations that I did, I never seen Scorched Beast in the area, but I think this one and the one that we just did, there's Scorched Beast there. But anyway, this is why I wanted to build here. I was like, I want to fill these shelves. And I tell you, again, I did this before the camp update, and it was the biggest pain in my ass. Because I didn't just want to float everything off of one item. I wanted to float two things off of one item to try to save for budget, because it got pretty expensive. I don't know if I still have pictures of my underground. I might throw one in if I did. If I have one, I don't know if I do, but I'll look after I get done talking about it. But I had so many rugs and eggs floating from underneath the ground, so this was really hard to do. But I ended up calling this the Yum Yum Shop. I didn't tell you the names of the other camps, but that's okay. This was my favorite name, the Yum Yum Shop. But it was super, super fun to do. It turned out great, and now that we can just place stuff, this would be really, really easy to get your camps full and beautiful and pretty. So I'm gonna add some pictures. I didn't show them yet. I forgot to put them in, but I'm gonna put some pictures in that I have just side to side of these cabinets here, just one or two, just so you can kind of see the before or after. But I don't know, it turned out great, and I think that there are a few things that spawn here, like that magazine. Maybe there's something next to the magazine. There's a couple things that will spawn here, and the trick I felt like to get things to spawn there was to not have your camp be pulled up, and that things will spawn better. That goes for NPCs too, but we'll talk about that in a camp coming up after this one. But this location is very friendly, I guess. Oh yeah, so speaking of enemies, I do remember every once in a while, like some super mutants would walk up the road, but it didn't happen all the time. So like maybe they just had a path that they routinely took, but not very often, because I mean I was in that location for a while. I mean I still have a camp there. I haven't deleted this camp at this point, but anyway, it was a super fun location, and I would love to see anyone try to build there, because it's going to be a lot easier to do now. I've kind of thought about going back and building in some of these locations again, since it's easier now, but I don't really like to build in two locations again, or the same location again. But anyway, moving on, let's get on to the next one. Alright, so here's the last one, the fifth and final camp, just down from Fort Atlas, and kind of close to Seneca Rock and Seneca Camp Group. I don't know, I went so fast there, but this one's probably my favorite. So there's a little bit to talk about with this camp location. But if you spawn in at Fort Atlas, and it's just, I don't know, I think it's over to the right a little bit, but you'll find it. It's pretty close to there. But So this camp location has lots of goodies for you to already use in your camp. It has these trucks that are like sunken. I keep calling them trucks. They're Jeeps. I get that. I get that I'm calling them trucks and they're Jeeps. The other one was a Jeep too. But they have these. Actually, that may be a truck. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So it has a lot of stuff for you to already to put into your camp. So budget-friendly camps, I always love that help you with budget. So we're going to talk about the inside of this for a second, because in order for you to get the beds that I showed pictures with the beds and without the beds, you can get 2 of the mattresses to spawn in, and I found the only way to get them to spawn in is to make sure that there are NPCs in this camp. If there's enemies, I don't think they spawn. Oh no, they do, because when I loaded in today to take these pictures of the inside, there were blood eagles there and the mattresses were there. But when I loaded in prior to that with my camp being there wasn't. Usually there's no NPCs or enemies when my camp is in this location. I'm not speaking for every location, but my experience with this location, when I load in and my camp is there, I do not have the mattresses on the inside. But if you move your camp and then hop servers, you will find that you can get, it's like a random spawn location. So you can get blood eagles, you can get scorched, you can get any of the bad enemies, and then you can also get the guy with the traveling guy that has the 2 dogs, which is what I did when I filmed this. I spawned in worlds until he spawned. You can get the 2 science people, and as long as you get someone to spawn there, those mattresses will appear. If there's nobody there, like if you load in and there's no one there, there's going to be no mattresses on all 3 of those beds. The one bed that I have the decor setting on, there's never a mattress there, but the other 2, the mattresses will spawn. Just takes a little bit of work. Moving on from the inside, the outside has, like I said, the Jeeps. It has a lot of things for you to put into this camp. So I hope that you guys have enjoyed this video. I don't think I faulted it too much. So anyway, you guys have a great day, evening, morning, night, whatever you call it and whatever it is for you. And thanks for watching and thanks for being here.